Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to talk about a brand new tree that I just planted that I love and that I hope it makes it because it's still hot outside when I planted it here the first part of August. It's really not the good time to plant it. If you plant something right now, make sure you give it lots of water and make sure it has lots of drainage as well. And my husband said I killed a tree, and you know what? I think I did kill a tree. And it was my mistake, but it wasn't doing good anyways. So one tree that we had to remove is called the Yoshio cherry tree. And it used to be symmetrical and now it's not symmetrical. And I need to figure out if I can live with it. How many of you guys feel like there's something in your garden that was symmetrical on each side and then something died and you're like, now what am I gonna do? Am I gonna replace it? You know, when you replace something that's been out of the garden from 5 years, like one tree's 5 years old, and then you plant something new and it's a 5-year difference. That's a big difference in growth. So anyways, this tree wasn't growing as much as the other one, and I think it was because the squirrels were on it and it had some areas in the bark that didn't look that great. I tried to tape the bark up before and that didn't work so much, so I took that off and I thought it was going to be okay, but it's not okay. And boy, did it turn brown like within a week. It turned brown fast, but a lot of it was my fault, and I'm going to share that with you so you don't make that same mistake. And there's things that I did this year that I would not do next year, so there's things that I will do differently. So yeah, but I'm really excited about this new tree. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm on the west side garden, and look at this gorgeous hydrangea tree behind me. Even though it's droopy from all the rain and wind that we had, it's still like absolutely gorgeous. And if you don't plant but one gorgeous hydrangea tree in your garden, plant a standard hydrangea, limelight standard hydrangea tree. It is gorgeous. The blooms are gorgeous. You can use these blooms inside. In August, we can dry the blooms and use them inside as well as dried blooms, and they make a gorgeous Christmas tree decoration as well. Very pretty. So like I said, let me turn the camera around, and while I'm turning the camera around, go ahead and hit that like button because I know you're gonna like this video. It helps me tremendously, and I do appreciate all the ones that like, comment, and share. It helps me out tremendously. So like I said, let's turn the camera around and show you my brand new tree on my west side garden. Just to show you this limelight standard tree. Isn't it gorgeous? It is beautiful. You can see the house line right up there. That's how big it is, and I think it's probably about as big as it's gonna get. It's lovely. It's been in this garden for over 5 years, and the blooms are just magnificent, you guys. Like, look, it is beautiful, just beautiful. Can't say much more about that. I've got 2 of these on this west side garden, and this one's not as old and it is droopy. So right here in the middle, I bought 4 lilac hardy hibiscus. And if you guys, it was just a big sea of green. It did not do anything for me. The blooms weren't striking. So I had 3 in this area and I pulled 2 out. So I've already got 2 of them pulled out, and I left that one. I had a bloom on it yesterday, no bloom today, but I don't even like that one. Nor do I even care to share this one with anybody. Like, if someone wants it, they can come get it, but I don't think it's beautiful. And of course I have a dark house that probably plays a lot with it. Like I said, the blooms weren't striking, and this is the middle part of the garden. I need something that's gonna be striking right here. So I don't know. I still am throwing out some ideas. I want something that's either yellow or in the red family or orange family. I thought a little bit about barberry because it's got striking reddish orange, and they even have yellow. So like right here in the middle, I have this Punkster Blue butterfly bush right there, and I got one here and one there, and I even have 2 more over there. So I've got 5 total. But just in this area right here, I need something else. Do you remember when I told you about my daylilies that were Primal Scream, and they were like really gorgeous with those big bright orange blooms? They look so pretty up against that like blue, dark purple, pink of the Punkster. So I just really haven't decided what I want to do yet. I pruned these back hard, you guys, like I really did. So when I came back and the spent blooms were off, like I brought them all the way back to here, as you can see. I'm not sure if I'm loving the look, but it needed it. And now I got some new growth coming on here. They need to be sprayed for fungus, because you could see up here that I've got fungus right there. I'm not happy about that. So I need to treat that as well. And then this is my exciting plant that I planted. So this is a Japanese maple, and it's not gonna get super large. I do still have the tag on there. So look how pretty this is. Shina, how would you say that? Shina Japanese maple. And I love the color on it. Oh, tag here. So let me tell you about it. So this is a popular, compact, upright, and densely branching tree. Small, deeply cut leaves remain close to the branches. Leaves begin a bright red and mature to a deep reddish purple and magenta in the fall. So it takes filtered to full sun, which I'd get a lot of. In this west side garden, I get a lot of shade in the morning and filtered sun in the afternoon. So I think it's going to do good. Hardiness is down to zone 5 for the cold. And then it says water regularly, so I do have it on drip. And then it gets 5 to 8 feet tall by 4 to 8 feet wide. And the growth rate's moderate. So there you go, you guys. And this is how much I paid for it. I got this at Pike's Nursery, and it's still really small. And I don't know if you've ever priced out Japanese maples, but they are a bit pricey, but I love them in my garden. So this is my 3rd one. But look at the leaf structure. Isn't it so pretty? And it's not even fall yet, but I think it's going to be gorgeous when it does come out. And I like that it has a little bit of dark purplish or red on the stem there. So I think it's going to bring some brightness into this area right here, and it's going to be really pretty once it gets some growth on it. And what else have I done? I pruned some of this back. I did a hard prune on it. As you can see, that one I got all the dead blooms off. That hydrangea, that's Tough Stuff hydrangea, and I still got to come back and get these blooms right here off more, but they still look pretty and very attractive. But I'm going to have some new growth coming right there. And then the cashmere verbena still looks great. It's doing really good. I planted 2 new garas over there. We'll go see that in just a second, up a little closer. You can see that I have drip right there. So I have 3 main lines. One's like up closer next to that purple fountain grass. And then this is the second one. And the 3rd one is right here. So you can see 1, 2, 3 up there. And this area is 12 feet wide. I may not have needed 3, but that's what I have. Like I said, it's very hot here. It's very humid here. And then those little skinny drip right there, that 1/4 inch strip right here, I had around the hydrangeas. So that's the reason why I just kind of tucked them up there. I really need to come back and mulch it. It would look so much prettier. But I'm gonna wait until I find something that I really like here. I'm not gonna rush. I'm just gonna wait and see if I can find something that I love. because I don't have a lot of good real estate anymore. Like most of my gardens have been taken up, and I want to like make sure I find something that I love. This Gomphrena right here was one of the plants that I did from seed, and there's several different colors in here. I got this bright pink, the light pink, and there's even, that might even be still a light pink. But I did have and planted a whole row all the way down there, and most of it didn't come up, you guys. I feel like I really wasted my time with all my seed growing this past year. You can see a little bit more of it right here coming up. It looks really pretty mixed in with this verbena, but I'd say most of it probably got covered up with this verbena. It's very aggressive. I'm not sure if you should put this with any other plant unless it is very aggressive. Like maybe this jazzberry would still do good with it. Some potato vine might do good with it, but I think the potato vine probably even like would cover it up even more. So there's things, like I said, that I would do different next year that I did not do this year. I like cut some of my coneflower back, but still need to cut some of it back. A lot of people say to keep these right here and the birds will like come and eat these. However, I feed my birds really, really good, just to let you know. So I doubt if they're gonna come over here and eat on that. What else would you like to see in here? So talked about the drip. There's my new beautiful tree. Look how pretty that's gonna be. My salvia is really pretty. That was from seed. That's doing really good. Oh, here's the Gaura. I planted one Gaura there and one right there. And I planted something else. Oh, like a teacup. Those ones that really get really tall. It's kind of like an elephant ear. I planted that way, way up there, and I had to cut right there. I had to cut the old blooms back because I didn't water it, you guys. It only takes one day here of not watering it and it drying up in that little bitty container. So, you know. And then look, I came and pruned this rose back, and look at those long canes. It just done gone crazy within a day. But I have some gorgeous blooms up there to share with you. Look at that. Trying to climb up this hill in my flip-flops. Look how pretty this is, you guys. Look at that bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? And then I got a few little smaller blooms up there that are just breathtaking, just striking. I love it. But this one's gorgeous, you guys. Now this is called Mill on the Floss or Floss on the Mill. I get it mixed up every single time. But it's a rambling rose, and boy, is it big. I've pruned this back several times this past year. But these really long canes right here, I'm gonna have to get rid of. This columbine right here is a perennial and it needs to be cut back. It's seen better days, so I need to get all that old foliage pruned back. Some of it looks good, like this right here looks really, really good still. Verbena, oh my gosh, it still looks great. My serendipity alliums, like you guys, deer do not like this, and it's a beautiful plant. Look how pretty that is. It looks like stars, like fireworks that just went off. Isn't it pretty? So that's something that you need. Oh, I looked at this the other day and I had, they're still there. Look, I'm always battling something. What is that? I don't know what that is. It doesn't look like aphids. But anyways, I had it on every single one, and now they've kind of dwindled down a little bit. I don't know where they went. Oh yeah, I still have a lot. Look. Look at this. Ugh. Yuck. So if you want to take care of that, Captain Jack's Dead Bug would be a good option for that, or neem oil would be a good one. I don't think that's an aphid. If you guys know what it is, share, share, share. I don't think it's an aphid. My mini vistas are doing really good. The white, I had 10 of these in the front and they got swallowed up by, you know what? Cashmere pink verbena. So that was a mistake. Can't do that again. Look at my lamb's ear that Miss Eileen from Her Secret Garden. If you have not missed that video, like, go look at her garden. It was beautiful. She shared some plants with me and that was one of them. Oh, and then a lot of people told me to come back and trim up this tree right here in the corner. I had a holly on the corner between my front garden and the west side garden, and my husband trimmed it up even more when he just mowed the grass. I think it was yesterday. So he got his trimmers out and trimmed that up even more. Let me come back a little bit more so you can see it. So it was all the way to the ground. I'm getting my shadow in here. And then you can see where I made all my cuts. So I have a little mini chainsaw and I used that. And then my husband came back with the saw to give it a cleaner cut. So I pruned that one, so it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 branches. And that kind of freed up this whole area right here. Like I said, it would look better if I come back with mulch. And then this is the other side of the hardy hibiscus. Now this one I do love. This one is called, it's Berry Awesome, I believe. And the bloom on this is striking. Colorful, it makes a big impact. The foliage has a little bit more red on it and it's not just green. I don't know. The other one just did not do anything for me in my garden whatsoever. None. Look how gorgeous the blooms are. Look how detailed this is, you guys. Like, look at the detail in this plant because you only get to see it one day. One dinner size plate bloom only lasts one day. Isn't it pretty? Lovely, lovely. And then, you know, I feel like sometimes I call it that it pooped on my garden. So I got to pick these up too. These are the old blooms that fall off right here. So that's the only thing about the hardy hibiscus is that you do have to clean up after it every now and then. And then this right here is where I had 10 of the mini vistas and they got swallowed up by the cashmere pink, and I cut it all the way back and they're starting to come back out fresh. I was trying to save them is the reason why I cut it back, and I regret it now because I didn't do anything but just prune these back, but they're gonna still look really pretty. This right here was supposed to be a dwarf potato vine. It is not dwarf, and it has swallowed all my plants up just like a big old octopus. And that's something that I will not do next year. I will do something different next year. Maybe lemon coral sedum would do better in that atmosphere. But these planters are so pretty with the Hoopla Vivid Pink Orchid petunias that were new on the market. Very pretty. King Tut looks really good. And I love this planter too, with the jazzberry and this petunia right here, the Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Those two look really pretty together. And I do love this Angelonia too. I just love this plant, and it has bloomed all summer long. It's looked like that. It is done gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So let me back up and just show you the front. There's one of my other Japanese maples right there. I've been pruning it up to keep it on a smaller size as well. And that's what we're looking at. And we pruned that rose up too. We pruned it up a good bit actually. So sun's going down right now. Looks very pretty. I apologize, I do hear a lawnmower if you hear that, but I just need to get out and do some videoing. There's always someone mowing in this neighborhood, but look underneath the trees, that vivid orchid, every one of the plants looks something very different. Look at the blooms on this one, and then the cashmere pink still looking really good, and then look at the blooms on this one. A little bit more white on the edges, but still that really vivid, vibrant purplish color in the middle. And then I want to also share with you these crepe myrtle trees. These were newly planted, and they took out our old trees and planted nothing but these crepe myrtles because supposedly they're not supposed to have the roots that like will tear up your sidewalks. But look, you guys, look at this tree versus neighbors' trees. Do you see like the difference color of green? That is what fertilizer does for it. So fertilizing and water and pruning, these trees do absolutely make a big difference. I've got blooms and my neighbor has no blooms. Look, you guys. So if you have a crepe myrtle and you're like lazy about fertilizing and pruning, then make sure you get out there next probably March or so and make sure you prune your crepe myrtles and give them some plant tone. And there's that one, just to let you know. Now, grass is looking good. My husband just mowed yesterday, so you can see the markings in there. So this is going to be the last month that I'm going to put out fertilizer for my lawn because it is sod and it is a warm weather grass, not a cool weather grass. The side over here is looking good. I need to come and prune some of these old blooms back, but thought I'd just share some with you. How pretty they are. We're going to make our way to the backyard. You can hear the air conditioner. Celosia, you guys, I'm not sure about it. Like, look, it dropped seed. And look down here. Lisianthus. I will plant lots more of Lisianthus next year. And I love that. Love it, love it. And can you believe this came up after 2 years ago? I had this 2 years ago on the side. My eucalyptus is doing really good. I do love this. This is striking. I hope it stays and comes back for me next year. My Gaillardia I did not like. I won't do that again next year. I just pulled it all back up and left one. And then look at the Celosia. When it drops seed, you guys, it's beautiful. It makes a good filler plant. But look, all of this is seedlings. What am I going to do with all this, you all? Look. I guess I'm just going to be pulling it up, right? That's what I'm going to be doing. So, yeah. It's crazy. Look at this. I do love the Celosia right here. This one. Oh, I love them all, actually. That one. This one. Look at this. Look how pretty it is. This is crazy, right? Looks like brains almost. But anyways, they drop seed. And this is what you get when they drop seed. And I'm going to show you in my other raised garden beds too, where I have nothing but from seed last year. These zinnias are really pretty. These are from Floret, but they're little. I expected bigger zinnias than this, personally. But they're beautiful. I'll take it. But I thought they would be bigger. And then some of the dahlias right here look really, really pretty. I love this color. Love it. Love everything about that color. Look how pretty this one is. Oh, this is another tree. This is my coral bark maple. This one's going to be beautiful too. This one's on the smaller side as well, so I paid the same price. So, because they're so expensive, if you buy like a really big tree, you're going to pay $300-400. So I'm buying it small and letting it grow out. But this one's going to be gorgeous in the fall too. And that's what this side's looking like. Hydrangea garden, even though it's droopy, it still looks beautiful. I'm starting to get some color change on the hydrangeas, but still not quite to where you can get it dry yet. It's got to feel papery. Does not feel papery yet. Let's see. I'm going to come over here and tell you and show you about my other tree. So my Yoshio cherry tree was right there. And when I'm telling you about symmetry, guys, like I have the symmetry down in this garden, but I've got a Yoshio cherry tree there. Right there. And then I'm supposed to have another one right there. So I have crepe myrtle, and then I have 3 of the Oakland hollies right here. I had a Yoshio cherry tree there, Yoshio cherry tree here, and then all these quadrants right here are all symmetrical. The 2 in the front are a little bit larger than the 2 in the back, but still all symmetrical. So that's what I'm going to tell you, like, can I live without it? Now, if I had one die, I would prefer this one die, because this one I need more privacy in this corner than I do need to have straight ahead. But let me tell you my mistake. And I'm getting sidetracked here. Look at the Boscobel roses right there. So coming down here, this is what I've done wrong. So I got these grow bags because I wanted to work with more of cut flowers this year. So I bought all these grow bags, and then I had to keep them watered. So I put drip all through them and even added more drip to them, like right here. Now this is the mess that I have. So I'm on a hill. It drains really good until you get right here, and then it drains no more. So you can see how wet everything is, and I'll show you a picture of my husband pulling it all out. And boy, was he just so mad at me that I killed that tree. And I did. It was my fault. I'll take full responsibility. If something's my fault, I will. But look at this celosia, you guys. All this celosia right here in this Savannah raised garden bed is from last year. I did not plant any of this new celosia whatsoever. So that's when I said it dropped seed, and it just keeps coming and keeps coming. Now I do love the cosmos over there that I have, and some zinnias are really, really pretty. I have a whole bunch of dahlias in there, and I have no idea where they're at. Look, I've got a basil in there that I need to start cutting off too, but I need to get all these pulled out. Like I pulled my other one. I have 2 raised beds, and I was pretty good about pulling everything out on the other one, but this one, I need to get in there and just start pulling plants out, because I don't need all this celosia for sure. But this one's really pretty. Look how pretty it is with this dark foliage right there. And I'm a little bit disappointed in these too. Like I need to probably cut them back, but I'm just disappointed, you guys. I spent a lot of money on dahlia tubers this year, and I have not had a great success. So tell me, like, what success you've had in your garden this year, and what major disappointment have you had in your garden? That's feverfew. I wanted it to so badly grow. Look at it, no blooms. So I don't know if it'll stay and I can replant it and it'll bloom next year. If you have more experience with feverfew, let me know, because yeah, bad experiment. And I'll show you, like, you can tell that I have lots of good things happen in my garden, but I'll also have lots of bad things in my garden too. This is Alexandra of Kent. She's got some black spot, and every time I see the black spot, I've just been pulling them off. I need to spray them with neem oil or Rose RX. I need to get in there and do that. And then the boxwoods look really pretty, but I need to come and spray them for spider mites also. And this is my new sod. It got fungus. So even though you spent, what? I spent $375 on this sod for this right here, and it's so hot and humid that got fungus. So they assured me that it's going to fill back in, so I'm not going to worry about it, but it's better than dirt for sure. I'm getting ate up right now. This dahlia right here is really pretty. This one's gorgeous. Look how pretty that one is. And I've got a real pretty rose on my climbing rose up here. Let me see if I could show you the sun going down over there a little bit. And yeah, something's biting on me. Ah! All right, so the Rose of Sharon's are looking good. I got lots of new growth on my Nellie Stevens. I need to buy more bird seed. And the sun's starting to go down. I'm losing some light. But look how pretty all this looks, you guys. So like I said, I do have good successes and bad things that happen in my garden too. And do I pray over my trees and plants? Yes, I do. And I've never prayed over more than those emerald green arborvitaes. Prayed over those a lot because I had to replant half of them. But yeah, tell me what you would do. Would you replace that with the Yoshio cherry tree again, or would you just leave it? Does symmetry mean that much to you guys? And I'm not as OCD as my husband is. He's more than me. It doesn't bother me tremendously, but yeah, I did have two. Now I have one. And I'll show you the footage too of Paul digging that up and how much water it was. So I did cut my drip back. I did have it on 60 minutes and I cut it back to 30 minutes. And then, so I'm still gonna have to give these containers extra water. Even though it rains, it doesn't get in there really good. So keep that in mind, you guys. So I am gonna, after I get off here, I have to come and give this some more water. But this is what the cottage garden's looking like. I'm starting to get some new blooms after I cut all back my Walker's Low Nepeta. Something's still biting on my ankle. Oh, one seed that I grew and looks gorgeous is these marigolds. And can you believe it's the one plant that I told you that I did not love before was marigolds, and now this one's gorgeous. Just beautiful. So I'm gonna get off here before the sun goes down. I hope you learned something from me today. If not, just it was very enjoyable just to chit chat with you. Today I got to go to West Jefferson up in the mountains, and we had a really nice brunch with my neighbors, Dawn, Cindy, and Bonnie, and we had a great time. And the flowers up there were beautiful. Like, they were so stunning. I really am jealous that the mountains have cooler nights than we do, because it might get like 10 or 20 degrees cooler in the mountains than it does here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. Our nights just do not cool down until later on in the fall, which I'm looking forward to. But it was a great day. Get out and spend time in your garden if you can. But more importantly, get out and spend time with your neighbors and your friends. Friendships mean a lot, and you have to invest in your friendships. And getting out and spending the whole day with them was a true blessing. So thank you, Bonnie, for setting it all up. It was really, really nice. Her friend, Mark, was the one that owned this little store. We got some cute little stuff. I bought Kyle some stuff. Who would have known that my son, that's 25, would come back from Italy and like to cook? Like, it has completely shocked me. But anyways, I'm proud of him. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.